we are. Welcome to everybody to CEO Chat 1130 edition. My name is Al Cini.
I'm Joe Osamendi.
And we have a terrific guest and a very good friend of mine.
Al.
Jonathan Rosen. Joe, I met Jonathan many years ago.
Okay.
Not that many, but many, we're not that old. At a Vistage training session. And since then, Jonathan has gone off and formed an organization called Collaberex.
Okay.
Which is a really, really different way of doing networking. I mean, people go to networking events all the time. Mm-hmm. You have a particular angle on it you've been developing over the last couple of years. Tell us what makes Collaberex different.
So that's exactly what I want to talk about, because we are different than everything else that's out there. We're different than traditional networking groups and chambers and all those kinds of organizations. And we're different because it's really optimized networking, what we call through collaborative communities, and that's what we do. So what makes it different is we don't differentiate our groups by industry, and our groups are not random groups of people, which all other traditional networking groups are. Our groups are defined by who your target market is. And let me tell you why that's important. Because if you're in a group of people that all call on the same target market, then the other people in the room actually know the decision makers you're looking to meet. And what's the point of networking? The point of networking is you should be networking with the right people, the ones that do know the decision makers you're looking to meet.
Right.
So 100% of the people in the room are in your world. They get you, they understand you, and they have clients within your target market, and you have clients within theirs. And every day in everyone's business development activities, they're trying to find more people within that target market.
Yeah.
So to give you an example, so you could have a concrete example. I have a group in Summit, New Jersey, for example. I have a dozen groups in the New York metro area. And it's for people that call on C-level executives at companies with revenues between $2 and $50 million.
Okay.
So they're calling on decision makers at those companies. Everyone in that room has clients in the $2 to $50 million range that are local companies. So since the people in the room are non-competing, they look at each other and they go, we've really got to get to know each other because we could share clients. I'm the accountant, you're the lawyer, you're the insurance person, you're the marketing person.
Well, and so while I'm in there looking for them to meet their insurance needs, I didn't know that there was somebody out there who can help them with HR problems they might have.
Right.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And every day, all those people are looking for new clients. They're looking to build their client base.
Sure.
So they meet a new decision maker that is within their sweet spot. And it's also someone that's in the sweet spot of everyone else in their group.
That's perfect.
So we put the right people in the room, and that's just the first step. After that, what we have to do is, the way that everyone knows networking works is you have to build, really meaningful relationships with those people so they know and get to trust each other, and then the referrals just start to fly.
Right.
In fact, in our group that we just had on Wednesday morning in Summit, it was great because I knew it was working because everyone was just interrupting each other. So we'd be talking about certain things and people, listen, I know what you're saying is really important, but I really have to refer you to this company and people couldn't help each other because they've gotten to know and trust each other so well.
Know, like, and trust each other that I know if I pull Jonathan in on this, he's not going to embrace me.
Right.
And he's not going to compete with me.
And people form strategic partnerships also to better serve their clients. They bring in the insurance person, they bring in the attorney to better serve their clients and really help them in other ways. So the way that we accelerate the relationship building process is we have kind of curated, customized agendas that are peer advisory agendas. And kind of the main topic that we're really talking about is how do you build your client base within the target market that everyone shares? How do you be better at it? How do you turn prospects into clients? How do you get more referrals from existing clients? How do you get better at empathetic listening so you could hear what your client's needs are? So by doing these things and having small discussion groups everyone gets to know each other very fast. And then from that, they build the relationships, and the referrals happen organically, but pretty fast.
Well, what I like about that, Jonathan, I've been to a bunch of these meetings. They're great meetings, and I told you he was going to be a good guest.
There you go.
I don't know why you give me such a hard time about this. No, actually, we're both thrilled to have you.
You should listen to him.
I know. Listen
for once.
Why?
Okay.
When I've been at these meetings, what's been fun about it is that when you're talking to somebody who calls on the same kind of client you do, not only do they have that client to introduce you to, but they have tips on how do you talk to these people, things that I know work and don't work. So when you finally do get that meeting, you get that meeting preloaded with advice on how to make the most of it.
Yes.
So it's business advice, business referrals gathered around a common target market.
Right. So at the last meeting, just to use this as an example, since it's top of mind, I just had the meeting on Wednesday morning. Our agenda item was, I try and sometimes think of good year-end topics that people want to do, kind of a reassessment of the year or themselves or looking forward to 2019. So what we did, we had everyone do what we call a personal SWOT analysis.
Okay.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But not of their company, of themselves. So it's a great discussion
and how
item.
open were people about this?
So
I mean,
everyone, we just go, okay, strengths, and some people are shy and some people are more out, but people really support each other in their assessments, and you get really great, confidential feedback, honest feedback from the other people in the group on how to emphasize your strengths and address your threats and take advantage of opportunities and things like that.
So how large are your groups?
So we cut off membership at 12 members, and the reason we do so is because we meet once a month for 90 minutes. So we want everyone at every meeting to have a voice and it's a group discussion. They're not waiting to be highlighted 3 months later that a lot of networking groups do. So ours, at every meeting, everyone is highlighted. It's a group discussion format. So if you get more than 12, you really can't highlight everyone in more than 90 minutes. Because everyone, we do little introductions and then we get right into the agenda, and sometimes we show a TED Talk, something that stimulates discussions. And so...
did you get the point of it? 90 minutes. Not all day, you get a lot done in a very short period of time.
Most of our groups go from 8:30 to 10. There are a few that go in the afternoon, 4:30 to 6.
Yeah, great.
But it's,
really.
But
ask him how much. Go ahead, ask him.
How much does it cost?
So we charge, right now we're charging $1,200 a year.
Okay.
So you're paying $100.
Yeah.
So
It's ridiculously, I don't want to say cheap because it makes it sound cheap, but that's a terrific price point.
So-
even you could afford that, Joe.
Thank you.
Well,
the way that I view it and the way that my members view it is they walk out of their first meeting and they think, I just met everyone, so maybe I didn't get a referral yet or something like that. But they all think that they've gotten at least $1,200 worth of free, confidential advice from their peers, from people that understand, not from random people, but from people that understand their market and understand them.
And may have been doing it for a long time.
And they've all been doing it. They all have different age and experience and gender and ethnic background. And so the more diverse the group, the better the better the discussions are. And the great thing is when you hear someone say in the group, gee, I never would have thought of it that way. And when they say that,
that just makes it all worth it.
I instantly think, okay, they got their money's worth.
You personally facilitate each one?
And I facilitate each one, so that's another differentiator. In most other networking groups, they rotate who the leader is and has to facilitate it, and it varies based on person. But mine it's a consistency. And the way that I view these groups is and I tell them this every month, these are not my groups. It's not my group. It's our group. So the best job I can do as a facilitator is really to shut up and to be the referee at the soccer game that no one notices. And they say, that ref did a great job. We didn't notice, he didn't affect the game, he just kind of moved things along.
Right.
My goal is to get people to build relationships with each other, not with me, with themselves, so they could build those relationships and so they could build their client base together.
And that's, and it's, you know, we keep talking about millennials. If there's anything that the networking world has excluded, I mean, all the networking events I go to are all profiled by people who are my age.
Right.
And, you know, we all like to think that we know how to do it because we've been doing it for a long time. But the way we used to do it and the way it's done in the 21st century are all two totally different things. And what I like about the Collaberex meetings I've been to is that you get young people in these meetings who have a completely different perspective on how you communicate. Plus, the people you're calling on these days aren't your age, they're younger than you are.
Yes.
I mean, so the market is younger. And that whole different new way of, I hate to say millennial because that kind of, you know, pigeonholes people, but that younger way of seeing the way the world works is something everybody can benefit from, and you get that in a big way in a Collaberex meeting.
Right. What's wonderful is the diversity of age in the group, actually, because we do get a lot of millennials, people that are starting off in their careers and are very motivated to build their client base. They have young kids. They're really looking to make a name for themselves in the community and in the business world, mixed with other people. It's not me calling
calls
you.
every now and then during the program. He does this.
Sorry about that.
How many times have you told her not to call you here? Anyway.
Right, but you do get a diversity of age, so you get that and you get more seasoned people.
Yeah.
And they interact really well together because both of them are making contributions to the other needs.
That's terrific. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to take a break. When we come
Okay.
back, we're going to talk about your next step, which is to make it bigger.
Okay.
And for people who might want to partner with Jonathan, he's got some opportunities for you. We'll be back. This gives Joe, during the break, a chance to call his lawyer. So we'll be back after these messages with more CEO Chat.
Stick around.
Thank you.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to strengthen our service members? What does it take to let them know that we stand behind them, wherever they are? What does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? And what does it take to prepare them for their future when their service to the nation is complete? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Share a message today at force.uso.org.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Choosing Medicare coverage can be a very confusing and complicated process. Help is just a phone call away. 856-226-4800. As a licensed insurance agent, I'll assist you in making an informed and confident decision on a Medicare plan that meets your needs, lifestyle, and budget. Call me today for a free, no obligation Medicare benefits consultation. 856-226-4800.
Boardwalks built for fun. Legendary rock and roll clubs.
This is how we do it.
Casinos by the ocean.
Hippity hop.
Now that's New Jersey. 130 miles of beautiful beaches. Solid rock. And everything in between.
Look in the window.
Now that's New Jersey.
Burlington County College
is now.
We are back. Welcome back to CEO Chat. My name is Al Cini.
Joe Osmendi. Pleasure.
And you turned your phone off now?
Yes, I
Everything
did.
okay?
Yes,
Good.
I
Just
did.
want to make sure. And this is Jonathan Rosen of Collaberex. And Jonathan, I've known you a long time.
Yes.
I've been to a bunch of Collaberex meetings. I know they're fast, they're powerful, and your price model is very attractive. I mean, it really is a very effective price model. It's a great idea, and I know you tried a lot of other things before you settled on this model, and I know it's evolved quite a bit. You've got groups in Connecticut.
Yep. In New York City.
New York City.
I have 4 groups in Westchester County, and I have 2 groups in northern New Jersey.
In northern New Jersey.
Yeah.
And you're at a point where now, if there are people watching the program who feel they could benefit by becoming Collaberex facilitators, forming groups, you've got something to offer.
Right. So I've been doing this. I started this business about 3.5 years ago, and I've finally gotten it right.
Now you're an overnight success.
Yes, right,
Yes,
exactly.
Congratulations.
Right. So I have a dozen groups in the New York metro area. And so we've built out the business model. So meaning it's all the content, all the agendas, how we market our groups, how we collect money, the whole business model for making this. This is we've proven our concept, as they say, as a business.
So you know how that
So
works.
we know our metrics and our KPIs and how long it takes to build groups and how much income we get after particular periods of time.
Good.
So it becomes a really good concrete opportunity for other potential facilitators in other territories that we're looking to expand to. So some of the territories that we're looking to expand to are South Jersey, Philadelphia area, Long Island, Hartford, Connecticut, and then grow from there even to Baltimore, Washington,
It could be
and
anywhere.
other.
in the
It could
country,
be
though.
anywhere.
The truth is, you don't have
Right.
to physically be near where they build a group. You can do all that electronically on a remote basis.
Yeah, so it's people with the skill set that they're sometimes it's people with a coaching background almost. That people that are good and comfortable in facilitating groups and making sure that their objective is really to service the group and make sure that they get the values that they're looking to receive.
Yeah.
So, the values that we bring to all our members are great high-quality referrals and great high-quality peer advice from people that get
who
them.
call on those
And
customers.
it's a model that doesn't exist anywhere else.
I've never seen it
Yeah.
anywhere else. And it's the kind of thing anybody can do anywhere, like you said, if they have the kind of coaching. It can't be about you. It has to be about the members.
Yes, it's all about them.
You're running now how many groups in your own?
A dozen. Right.
So
And so they
10
meet
groups.
once a month for 90 minutes.
So
So
10 groups with 12
Yeah.
people in
Yeah.
each group could
Yeah.
be a very nice payday for somebody in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia,
Right.
someplace like that. And it's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
talk about that, because I know, it could look like a chore, but you make it look easy, and I know how much you enjoy it. Talk about how much fun it is to do that.
I mean, the group meetings are fantastic. I mean, it's magical. People do. The biggest issue is people don't want to leave. So we get kicked out of the offices. So, but after 90 minutes, people are so engaged because they're talking about we require that they talk about personal things. They talk about themselves. That's how you build relationships.
Sure.
So we ask them to tell us about things that are impactful in their lives that have happened that can benefit the other people. And they all end up having to do with, the businesses that all the people are in are really relationship businesses. Whether you're a lawyer, an accountant, or an insurance broker, or marketing, people do business with other people that like them and then trust them and have the same beliefs that they believe. So you have to be an expert at building those skill sets. And so one of the ways that we do it is when people talk about personal things. One thing that I've say to the group that they get their back up a little is I say, no one cares what you do. And they look at me and they go, what do you mean no one cares what I do? I have 3 graduate degrees and I did this and this and this. They said, no one cares. They care about you. And once they learn about you, then they'll care about what you do.
Care about what you do.
Start.
That's a good point. That in itself is a good point.
Right. So you have to start with that. And just the feedback that I've got. So let me step back. I know that this model has worked for one reason, because everyone renews their membership.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's how you know. I mean, you have a pretty close to 100% retention rate
Yeah.
in all of your groups, which
Yeah.
is pretty amazing.
So when people join the groups, that's okay. I like it. But I know what they're doing. They're checking it out. They're seeing if it's valuable for them.
Sure.
So they'll start with a 6-month trial membership, and then they'll work up to an annual membership, an annual commitment. But it's when they renew, then I know that it's worked for them. They've gotten the value that they expected, and this is something that they want to do. So they stay for those values.
When does everything kind of click together? You talk about, let's say you start a new group.
Yeah.
The first month, everybody's kind of feeling each other out, et cetera, first meeting. When does it really get comfortable?
So what happens in the very first meeting, people do get some great value because they get advice. They don't get referrals yet because they don't really know each other yet. Or they might get kind of secondary referrals like, oh, you do this, you're an accountant, I know a lawyer that you guys could be good referral sources for. But it's not a risk.
Okay.
And then after that, the next stage would be maybe it takes 2 or 3 months. They get to know each other. They've met each other outside of the group, in between the meetings also. Then they'll give a referral such as, oh, I know a company that might need your services. And then after they really get to know each other, maybe 4 or 5 months, they start to say, I have a client that could use your services. And at that point in time, you really know that it's working well because they trust their fellow member enough to refer their own client.
Right, okay.
And when
And
that
it
happens,
builds up to a point where they can actually make cold calls on, I mean, there's some people in Collaberex that have formed little virtual partnerships with people where they solve a bigger problem by offering a solution that involves both their companies.
right. And one of the other things that I do is if you're a member of any one group, then you're entitled to go to all the other group meetings.
Oh, you are? Okay.
As long as there's not a competing professional that's already a member of that
That's
other
important,
group.
so you can try other target markets.
So someone that's maybe a great participant in one of my New Jersey groups, they might come into one of my New York City groups, and there's not a competing professional in that group.
Right.
So they come and I know that person. I know they're a great contributor to the discussions in one group, and they're going to contribute their insights and experiences to another group also, and it's going to be great. It's a win-win for everyone.
So we see new faces every now and then, and those breathes kind of new life into a group, which is very cool. Okay, now all the reasons why somebody might not call you, like where are we going to meet? I have to arrange a meeting room. I mean, you've solved all these problems.
Yeah, so we meet once a month for 90 minutes, and we meet in a members conference room. And it's always the same time, the same place. So first Tuesday of the month, 8:30 to 10 a.m. at this particular accounting firm or law firm or commercial bank or whatever.
You do WeWork too. I mean, every now and then. You get WeWork
we've stayed away from WeWork somewhat. They're a little disorganized.
Okay.
But we've done some other shared workspaces.
Okay.
It's, actually, in New Jersey, we do our groups in 2 shared workspaces.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that are nice, organized.
So that's
well.
not hard. I mean, that's
Yes.
an easy problem to solve. That's
But
not
most
a reason not to
but
call.
most of my groups are in a members conference room, and the members. They want it in their conference room.
Sure.
It's convenient for them. They're at work anyway. The conference room is not being used. And for us, and they want to be hosts. It helps promote themselves, their company, and their brand.
Yeah.
So that's a positive. So all the logistics of what we do and how we collect money and our membership fees and all the content and all the agendas and all the things that we do to create this value for our members, it's already set up. It's all done. It's all set up. It's all set in place. And the model for doing so, it's a scalable metric that people can see, kind of a concrete progression of how long it takes to build groups and how long revenue comes in. And so it's a great opportunity for people in other territories.
And you could start with a relatively small group, a couple of people, and then gradually build on that.
Well, I find the tipping point in our groups is 5 members.
About 5 members.
So it does take a while to build new groups, but we have a methodology for doing so that makes it more certain.
So you've got that,
Right.
you've got that base covered. Too.
Once you have 5 members, it goes a little slow from 1 to 5 and very fast from 5 to 10.
After that, from 5
Because the people, you have a core foundational group of early adopters for that particular group, and they realize it's in their best interest to invite other like-minded, non-competing professionals to a group that are going to contribute to their success. And on that note, one of the things that we do is we actually require all of our members to sign what we call a guideline for participation.
Okay.
And it's a pledge that says that they will make it their responsibility that the other people in the group succeed. So they have to
that's
be
great.
responsible for everyone's success.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that really differentiates us from
all
the other
networking
groups.
clubs. I was about to say, as you were describing that, there are lots of places where you can go to meet other people who are in business. I mean, everybody knows that now. from
Right.
Chambers of commerce to local business groups to banks. I mean, there are lots of those places. But to go someplace where people are actually making a commitment to help each other succeed with a kind of a guidelines on how to do that, that's what I believe makes Collaberex really unique and really different. And I've got to give you a lot of credit for building it.
Well, you know, it's kind of my belief system, and it's what drives me and drives the business. So I sincerely believe that through group collaboration, all individual members will achieve individual success. So it's not a new concept. It's being part of a, you know, it's like what it was when you were part of a sports team or a college study group or a sorority or fraternity, or you know, it's actually what other organizations also do, like Weight Watchers and Alcoholics Anonymous. It's that group dynamic that helps everyone succeed.
They do that, but I'll point out a difference where organically that kind of thing can happen, but often doesn't. If you start with that commitment right off the bat, which is what you do with Collaberex, and everybody knows that's exactly where it's headed right from the beginning. Which means if they're joining because they accept that value. It's not a value they learn over time.
Yes.
That just makes everything go much more quickly, and I think that's what. Anyway, we're at that part of our program where there are people out watching our program now who might want to partner with you and form groups outside of your area, in their area, Collaberex groups, and you've got that all worked out. There
Right.
could be people who want to join one of your groups, so go ahead and tell everybody how to reach you.
Okay, so my name is Jonathan Rosen, as Al and Joe introduced me as. Everyone could reach me. Our website is www.collaberex.com, and you could reach me at Jonathan, JONATHAN, @collaberex.com. And I'm happy to talk to anyone and you know, contact me, and I can tell you about opportunities in different territories or about groups that you might want to
That's
join.
terrific. You couldn't meet a
Yes.
better guy. I mean, Jonathan, what a pleasure.
Thank you
having
so much,
back
guys.
on-
Thanks.
Back on CEO Chat. And you know,
Okay.
as this idea evolves, we'll have you back again maybe next year to talk about where it's going and
Great.
what new
I'd be
areas
happy
you've
to.
expanded into. Excited for you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks all of you for joining us today on CEO Chat. We'll be back again next. I will. Joe, I think you're off next week.
Might be.
But we'll be back with more CEO Chat next week. Until then, I'm Al Cini.
I'm Joe Osmendi.
What do you want to tell them? Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Be safe, sound, and come back next
And
week.
happy Hanukkah. You're halfway, day 5 of Hanukkah. So go and enjoy
Yes.
the rest of it.
Okay.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Great.